good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, Conor and I are going to talk to you about how you can utilise the free service of YouTube to promote the Australian breeding and thoroughbred industry. First, let me start by asking you guys a question. With a show of hands, how many of you have watched a YouTube video online? No surprises there. There are over 3 billion YouTube videos watched every day online. This is a staggering amount. YouTube only started in 2006. Back in my mother's day, who's in the audience here, she wouldn't have dreamt of having all the free videos available to her on her very trendy iPhone and iPad. But on a serious note, we've really got to utilise this to make sure that we can promote our industry. So the outline of this presentation, Conor's going to start by giving you our legal and financial implications of YouTube. We will then show you a short clip of what we believe is effective marketing. I will then give you our first proposal of our Australian Thoroughbred Network playlist. Conor will then give you our second proposal under our Blue Sky Thinking of a video archive.
Thank you, Diana. So, just to begin, let's discuss some of the financial and legal intangibles of YouTube. First of all, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, behind only its parent sponsor organization, Google. What does that mean? It means a lot of advertising revenue. YouTube can charge $10 for in-search advertising, or those little pesky advertisements that appear while you're looking for videos, as well as $30 for in-display advertising, or what appears while you're watching a YouTube video during the actual display of the video. Just to give you a sense of perspective on what this can mean for revenue, the rapper Psy from South Korea, with his Gangnam Style last year, netted 1.8 billion user views on YouTube, which has to date earned Psy $10 million in revenue, all from one video. On the legal side of the coin, copyright reigns supreme. Just this past May, one user in Australia had thousands of hours of Australian racing footage on his YouTube account. But because those copyrights are held in the possession of TVN, his account was terminated. So if you're going to use YouTube videos, you have to make sure to check on the copyright. But enough talk, let's actually get on the website. So here we are on YouTube, and I want you all to imagine for a second that I'm Mr. John Q. Public, and last Saturday I had a very interesting weekend of racing at the Cox Plate. I wasn't much of a racing fan before this weekend, but I saw enough and I really liked the energy and atmosphere of the place. I want to learn more, and I'm going to do a general search on YouTube for Australian horse racing and see what I come up with. Uh-oh. Well, this is an interesting first link. Let's see what it has to say.
In Australia, it seemed...
It says, murder, jockeys, drugs, and race fixing in Australia. It's not too good. If I'm new to the game, I'm probably not going to be inclined to read much past that. So here we can see the problematic nature of all sorts of new technologies, and I'm sure you'll see this again and again as we go through these presentations today. YouTube can be a great way of branding any industry, but it can also be a black scar on an industry if the content isn't regulated and controlled properly. So you can't prevent a user from putting something like this on YouTube. But what you can do is create a YouTube channel which organizes content under one parent organization, one parent brand, that helps direct users to a more proper location where they can get a better feel for the industry.
So, looking at more the positive sides of promoting the Australian breeding and thoroughbred industry, Conor and I are going to show you a short clip of what we believe is a really effective marketing tool, which is called Ireland Land of the Horse.
Ireland, land of the horse. Ireland is the largest producer of thoroughbreds in Europe and fourth in the world. There are almost 8,000 breeders spread across the entire country.
So HRI does a lot of good things with its YouTube channel. Not only does it have beautiful promotional film like you just saw. But you also have various playlists on the YouTube channel, which do more than just brand racing as an organization. It also helps to generate new fans. And what you have here is, for example, a 5 to follow playlist that features up-and-coming horses in Ireland. And if you scroll down the channel page further, you see Racing Explained, what makes a good racehorse. That playlist alone, and that video alone, has generated some 50,000 hits to date on YouTube. So what you see here is a series of tools at HRI's disposal, not only to better brand their product, but to build a new generation of racing fans. We propose something similar this morning to all of you. We believe that Australia must mimic HRI's model and build its own channel on YouTube, which we would like to dub ATN, or the Australian Thoroughbred Network.
So as Conor's just explained, we would like to promote this Australian Thoroughbred Network playlist. We would have videos that would target owners, trainers, breeders, agents, for people within the industry to help them to be an enhancer for them. We would have videos, for example, for breeders. We would have information on diseases such as the equine influenza. Just imagine if this was available in 2007, with the dramatic impact it had on the industry. Perhaps if people were aware of what the disease was and how it affected the industry, maybe it would have lessened the impact. We would have videos available for jockeys on stuff like jockey coaching, sports psychology, nutrition, fitness. We would have videos for breeders, for stallion profiles, new stallions. You know, these could all really benefit the industry. We would have profiles on trainers, such as a trainer like Gay Waterhouse. She's a brilliant advocate for racing. She talks in a non-horsey language which new fans can relate to.
I say to people, when you look at a girl, say to a guy, when you look at a girl and she's pretty, you don't need me to tell you there's a pretty girl. Well, it's exactly the same as me looking at a horse. When I look at a horse, I don't have to say, that's a nice horse. I can just tell you straight away. I look for the positives. When a horse walks up, I let it walk for a while and let it sort of flow over me and say, what can I live with if it's not perfect? Because you don't get the perfect horse. And then the next thing is I like attitude. I like the horse that cop it on the chin. You know, when I serve the training up to it, it goes like as though it's playing tennis. That's what I want. You know, I want that horse that just hits the ball straight back to me.
So Conor and I believe that this is all great for people in the industry. But to keep the whole industry going, we need new fans into the sport. We propose new ideas, such as you can see here. I know this isn't horse related, but this is a crazy man walking over the Grand Canyon on a sky rope. This had millions of hits on YouTube. It was filmed live. We propose a similar idea for something, say, with breeding. A live foaling video of Black Caviar, for example. Imagine that beautiful Exceeding Excel filial colt being born next year. How many people would watch that? We all know Black Caviar. She's a renowned racehorse around the world. This could really be a massive hit. And you could be at the racecourse in a few years' time and believe that you're actually there at the foaling. We would also have other ideas and work on other ideas that maybe have already been introduced, such as a jockey cam. On British Champion days, jockey Richard Hughes wore a jockey cam in the race, and it's already had over 4,500 hits on YouTube.
Well, another idea is to go out there and warm up and enjoy yourselves. And after 2 miles around there, one thing is you'll be warmed up.
Yeah.
It's a nice track on the ground.
So you have a video of them in the starting gate. It makes the actual person feel like they're riding a horse. And going through the race, you see the Queen's filly on the left. They're actually riding the race, excuse the language. But he is a jockey, so we'll forgive him. And you actually feel like you're riding the finish. Imagine this, imagine for the Melbourne Cup on Tuesday, the jockey of Ferrante having a jockey cap. The actual Joe public, the race that stops the nation, they actually feel like they're riding the race. We believe these kind of ideas could really be adapted by the Australian breeding and racing industry.
Thank you, Diana. So what Diana described is obviously mimicking some of the tools we saw on the HRI YouTube channel. Not only do you have the playlist, but we're actually trying to take this a step further. We have these different camera angles, we have the live video streaming. All of this can help better entrench current fans of racing in Australia. But we want to take our thinking another step further. And in doing so, I want to propose one last question to all of you. Just a show of hands. How many of you, when you rent a DVD, watch the bonus features, the deleted scenes, anything bar the actual movie? Could I just get a show of hands? a few of you, but not many. And that's not surprising because the heart of a DVD is the movie, and the heart of the Australian thoroughbred industry is the race itself. How do you get people interested in racing if you don't expose them to the actual race? Well, what we propose is to do something that's a leap ahead of what any other channel has done on YouTube. We want ATN to broadcast a complete digitized archive of every race recorded on film through Australia's racing history. Now, I know what you're thinking. I mentioned that pesky copyright issue earlier. How are we going to deal with that? Well, first you need to have an understanding of how problematic it is that we can't freely access these films. Let's say I wanted to watch Maccabi Diva's thrilling 2005 Cox Plate victory. Here's the video I'd have to see. It's a spotty film quality, and more obviously, it's in Cantonese. So, again, if you're a general fan, you know a little about racing, but you don't know a lot, stuff like this is going to turn you away and point you in a different direction. Having a free and open archive, it'll get fans into a common forum where they can truly get exposed to racing. And to give you another perspective on the problem, TVN has 400 race films total on its YouTube channel. Just last year alone, there were 21,400 races run in Australia. We are not doing nearly enough to show the race, that beating heart, to the general public. And if we did do so, imagine the kind of advertising revenue, going back again to the beginning. Imagine the revenue that you would generate from having so many people click on these links. We'd have another tool for fueling our purses, and that doesn't even account for how many people would be buying tickets to racing and for how many people would be wagering at the windows that weren't previously. So to conclude things up, with what Diana discussed in our playlist, you will have a tool for all people of thoroughbred industry business interests, from owners to breeders to agents, sales executives, and jockeys. But if we have a free and open racing archive as well, we'll also have a tool that will generate a new generation of racing fans and make our industry more sustainable. Thank you.